Hi friends, Susan Campfield here with SueStampfield.com. Welcome to my stamp room. Come on in, we're going to create together. I'm not sure what the card is going to look like at the end because you guys vote and help me design it. So thanks for all that help that you give me, and I love how we inspire one another's creativity. Thank you for making and sending handmade cards. You are absolutely making the world a kinder place with every paper hug that you send out in the mail. It is doing great things, so keep it up. I hope these videos give you inspiration to make and send even more cards. Good to see my friends tuning in here. Fantastic. I do send out free project sheets that match up with some of my videos. So if you're not currently subscribed to those, I'd invite you to do that. Go to SueStampfield.com, click on subscribe, and then pick free project sheets. All right, we're going to dive in tonight. So tonight we're getting a little spooky. We're going to do a little Halloween card. It is August. What is today, you guys? August 26th today, which means Halloween is 2 months. Wait, let's see. September. Yeah, 2 months away. And it will be here before we know it. So we're going to go ahead and do a little creating tonight with, hot chocolate is your drink of choice, Dolores. Cool evening in Pennsylvania. Yeah, it has been cool here in Minnesota as well, which I am loving the cool weather. So, so yay for that. Hot and humid in Florida though, right, Jaylene? So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We are making a fun fold card tonight, and it is a slider card. It looks hard, but it's not, unless Susan screws it up, and then I'll make it look even harder. But no, I think we can do this. We can do this. All right, should we try? Let's give it a go. All right, so I'm going to go to my desktop here. All right, we are primed and ready. We've got weird things in the way. Pretty much par for the course, stuff shoving in from the sides. Let's start. We're going to be using tonight this bundle. Spooky Halloween. It's not spooky at all. It is adorable. It should be called Cutesy Halloween. In the last Crafternoon, we made this quadruple Z-fold. What was this called, you guys? Card. You can find all the details on my blog, SueStampfield.com, for all of the cards we made with this cute fun fold. This one, yeah, quadruple C-fold card, right? The horizontal version. We used the same suite of products in this paper. So tonight we're going, I forgot about the candy corn. That's just like an ephemera. You just punch it right out. Maybe we can incorporate that on tonight's card too, because it's stinking cute. So there's like, all right, I've pulled this all apart. I've got all bits and pieces here. So the designer paper is called, what's it called, Susan? Well, I don't know. Let's look. It is called Spooky Sweet. And it comes with, different patterns of paper, as you would imagine, but it also comes with these punch-out pieces that make card making so quick and easy. You just punch them out and stick them on your card, and you are good to go. So tonight we're going to actually use this pattern and a couple others I want you guys to vote about. So this one, there's no dies that match this paper, but we're going to be punching. I love this guy. He's so cute. This little bear Dracula is adorable. He's a little bear dressed up as a Dracula, and we're going to punch that out and make that into our card. So I know I want to use him. Now this paper also comes with like little tags that you can cut apart. Banners. This was part of that same sheet. You can see I've used some of them, and all those punch outs I talked about. We're going to start with you guys helping me decide which paper to use. So for the main part of our card, we're going to have that cute little bear on here. All right. We could do, well, that feels like too much orange. I almost think a black card base would be good for Halloween. Yeah, let's stick with the black, but I don't know if we should use the orange or the black for our card. So let's vote on that. Let's say one. One is black, two is orange, pumpkin pie, I should say. So let me know in the comments, one or two, which one you think we should use. And while you're voting on that, I'm going to bring in the paper trimmer here. And 1 is black, 2 is orange. I'm telling myself that so that I don't forget. And I'm going to bring in a chunk of that paper that we talked about, and I'm going to punch out our adorable little bear here. I'm going to use the smaller circle punch for that. That is the 1, and oh gosh, this is filthy. You're not even able to see. This has had a lot of use. I love punches. Shape punches are just so awesome. This is the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And I've trimmed away a little bit of this paper so that I can reach that bear, and I'm just going to slide it in and punch him out. He just barely fits. Ha! Get it? Barely. Oh, that's a little pun there, you guys. A really bad one, but a pun nonetheless. So just for inspiration, and we'll be layering up on some black and some pumpkin pie cardstock, so don't let that influence your choice. But I am seeing more people choosing the orange, which is great. So we're gonna go with that. Now we're gonna bring in our paper trimmer. So we're making a slider card, and let me show you. Oh, that is super cute, you guys. This paper seems like the wrong size, though. Did I cut that right? Let's check our dimensions, shall we? Well, that'd be easier to do if you hadn't buried them. Yeah, I cut the DSP the wrong size. I thought that looked short. All right, we got to correct that right out of the bat. So that's this same paper here. Hang on. Let me fix it. So I cut it. It looked awfully short, and it was indeed. So the Designer Series paper, if anyone would like to know, is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch, not this, which was a different dimension. All right, so, oh, I know why. It was because the insert, okay, yeah, I see what I did. All right, so 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 is our Designer Series paper that's going to go on the front of our card. All right, I know, a little bit unusual size than the norm. And then we're going to score our paper. So let's got our handy dandy paper trimmer right here, and we're going to start with our card base. Now Mary is in the comments. Let's give a shout out to our wonderful moderator, Mary Nass. So the DSP is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Mary is here on YouTube with us, dropping those measurements in the comments. I also have them typed up on a paper, and I'll share them at the end so that you can take a screenshot. And then we're going to score our card base. So again, our card base was 8.5 by 5.5. It barely fits. I know, right, Jenna? I'm just mispun tonight. Yeah, not really. Okay, we're gonna score this. So I'm gonna pull the arm out here because we want to score it in 2 places. We're gonna score it at 4 inches. So here's 4 inches. The score, not cut, Sue. Score, not cut. So I got the scoring blade. That's the lighter gray one. And then I'm gonna slide it over to 8 inches and score again. All right. 8 inches. There we go. Mary's getting lots of love in the comments. She's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to just set the trimmer down. We're going to need it again shortly, but for now we're going to just pop it aside. And we're going to go ahead and crease on these folds. So that would, a bone folder would be really helpful. Ha! Found it. Take a sip, everyone. We play a little game here. If you haven't watched my videos before, the Found It game, when I lose something, because I'm messy crafter, and find it again, we all say found it and take a sip of our beverage. Let me know what is in your cup tonight. Okay, so I've got this scored and creased, and so this is a mountain fold. This is also a mountain fold. So we've got those all ready to go. And next, what are we doing next? I don't know. Oh yes, okay, all right. This is the part that seems a little scary. So we're actually going, well, no, it's not. We're going to stick the designer paper on first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate this around so that I have my scored. Can you guys see that? It's black, so it's hard to see. So this is a tab that we're going to be putting adhesive on. And I want to put my designer paper to the left of that tab. Now when I stick my designer paper on, I'm going to be cutting a slider in this. this is the card that we're making. This one I made back in, gosh, was this February maybe? January, February, with the Terrific Toadstools. So you can see how it slides up there, okay? And this was inspired by Team Dandelion Chicory Coffee. Wow, Jerry, that is unique. It was inspired by this Christmas card that I received from my team member, Sandy Rousey. And so this was the one we did last time. So we're going to do this, but our little bear is going to be the slidey piece. Fun, right? So, all right, back to this. We're going to stick this piece on, but because I'm going to be cutting a slit in it that needs to slide, I only want to adhere it at the top, the bottom, and the two sides. So I'm going to flip it over here. I do think this little pig is adorable too. That would be a super cute card. So is this little, I don't know what. It's a bat. It's a bat. I thought it was a bird. I see the wings now. It's a bat dressed as a ghost. So we're going to take our adhesive here and just run it across the top, run it across the bottom, and down both sides. Okay. We don't want any in the middle bit. We don't want any in here. So now I'll go to my paper, and I'm just going to stick this on. I'm trying to make it so that it is lined up even spacing all the way around, and we've got that in place. Okay, Mary is right on top of it. She is always on top of it, isn't she? So I'm gonna put up, I neglected to put up the card base size. Thank you, Mary. So this was 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 and 8. All right, and let's go to the cutting part. So we're going to bring that paper trimmer back in, and we're going to cut a slit. Now to cut this, I want the slit over here. So, and I want it near the lower part. So I'm going to rotate my whole card so that that tab is now on the left. And I'm going to open up this plastic guide on the trimmer and slide my card in. And I want to line up the left edge of my card at 1.5 inches. And it's only the left edge because I flipped it over, all right? But I don't want to lay the plastic guide down yet because I'm not going to cut from the top. I want to cut the interior part of the card. So I am going to slide this little blade. This is the cutting blade. I'm going to hold it up so maybe you can see it. I want to line it up with that 1 inch mark. Do you see that 1 inch mark? There we go. And then I'm going to push it down, okay? And I am now going to cut from 1 inch down to, what am I cutting it down to? 1 inch down to 4.5 inches, all right? So I'm going to slide this down to 4.5 inches. I'm going to hold it up again so that you can see that 4.5. You can see the 4 inch mark, the 5 inch mark, and the little 1/2 inch in between there. And then because I am cutting through 2 layers of paper, both designer paper and cardstock, I'm going to go back up to that 1 inch mark just to make sure that I cut through both layers, okay? And then I'm going to pull this out, all right? So Mary has those measurements here. So we cut a slit, we turned the card upside down so the tab was on the left, and we lined up this edge at the 1.5 inch mark on the trimmer, and then we cut from 1 inch down to 4.5, okay? Are you with me, guys? All right, now I'm gonna put the trimmer away. I think we're good, maybe? Unless we wanna do something when we decorate. And now we're gonna go to the next part of our card, which is a little mechanism. So before I do that, you can see the slit that we cut. Before I go to the mechanism, I'm going to punch a little notch in the top of my card because that's where you can see right here, there's a notch that makes it more obvious that you pull that. And we're going to use the smaller one, the 1 3/4 here. And we're just going to slide it in. Oh gosh, we don't need to go in very far. I'm doing a much shallower notch than I did on that card. Just a skosh right there. Just a little divot. All right, so I've got that. And then next up, we are going to use our little mechanism. So this is a super fancy mechanism. Not really. It is a piece of cardstock, a piece of white cardstock. That's all you need. We all have tons of pieces of white cardstock, right? And we're going to slide this piece of cardstock into that slit. Okay. Doot, 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 doot. All right. So I just want a little bit of it sticking out, enough for a dimensional to go on. To test it, I'm going to take a dimensional and stick it right on there. Okay, so I've got my dimensional stuck on that little tab. All right, this is what's going to make our slider piece work. But to make it work, we need to now stick the other side of it to something. So I'm going to flip this around. Let's see, Mary has our, let's see. Did I give you guys the dimensions for this? It is 3/4 inch by 3, this little slider piece. 3/4 inch by 3. Mary's got it right there. Thank you, Mary. So that's the dimensions for that. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape on this side. Tear and tape. If you were I had it out because I'm like, okay, I need the tear and tape. All right, I don't see it, but here's another roll. So, you know, that's why Susan has multiples of everything, because I lose stuff. All right, we're going to go ahead and add, take a sip, everyone. We're going to add a piece of tear and tape to the back of that little mechanism. Okay, let me hold that up so you can, oh, you gosh, you can't see in this bright light. Can you see there? There. If I tilt it just like that, you can see the tear and tape right there. It's just blending in with that white a little bit. And now we're going to bring in our insert piece here. Now I think it might be a good idea for me to actually stamp my insert piece before I stick it in. I think it's a little bit easier. You can slide it up and stamp on it, because when I was practicing this card, I just did that. So time for a long sip. Yeah, it was a dry one there, wasn't it? All right, so we've got that tear and tape on. I'm going to just have that sit and wait for a moment. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my Happy Halloween on here. So let's grab the Memento Black. Let's grab the Happy Halloween stamp from this spooky Halloween stamp set. And I'm just inking that up. Now we're going to be putting a little die cut at the top of this. It's not so little actually. So I want to slide this down. How far do I want to put it? I'll put it down right there. Okay, I hope that wasn't too far. Hang on one moment. It was a little, I think it'll be okay. You could go a little up from that. Let me see how far down that was. I stamped that down about an inch. I left about an inch. So I think we'll be okay. Let me test it here. Just testing it out. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. All right, so I've got this right here. I'm going to pull my tear and tape off, the backing off of this tear and tape. Let's just close that ink up, Susan, before we have a disaster. And my Take Your Pick tool is slightly buried, but not too bad. So I've found that. Let's pull the backing off here. Now this is like pulling the pin out of the grenade, right? This is live and sticky. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this around, and I want to line it up with the top edge of the card. I want to make sure this piece is fairly straight. That looks great. And then I'm going to line this up with the top edge of the card, and I'm leaving an even border between this score line right here and this score line over here. I realize you probably can't see that too great on the camera. So let me hold it up and show you how I centered it, left about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch on each side, okay? And I've stuck that on. So, and now I'm just gonna reinforce that by pressing just to make sure that that tear and tape is sticking, okay? So now when I flip it around, this will slide up, and whatever we stick on here will slide up with it, okay? All right, so, and it looks like the Happy Halloween will show, so yay for that. So now we're ready to, the insert piece, you know what? No, yes it is, thank you, Mary. I forgot to mention, Mary is reminding me, I forgot to mention the insert piece is 3 3/4 by 5. You are absolutely correct, Mary, of course. Thank you so much. I spaced that off. I got all excited about making the card, forgot to tell you the dimensions. My bad. All right, so we've got this done. Now we're ready to go ahead and sort of close up our pocket. So to do that, I'm going to turn the whole card over so that I can see it from the back side. I want to straighten this guy up, straighten up, fly right, and now I'm going to put some tear and tape on the tab. So I am folding the tab in because I want the sticky on this side, because I'm going to fold it closed to seal up the pocket. All right, so let's grab our tear and tape here, and we're going to go ahead and stick this on. This might be a good one for a project sheet. What do you guys think? All right, we've got that down there. Let's see. Yeah, great for grandkids. Totally agree with you. It's spooky cute. It's not very spooky. Very cute. So even the younger kids wouldn't get too scared. Although we are going to put some bats on here, you guys. All right, so I'm holding that sticky down, and I'm just going to seal up that pocket. All right. Okay, so let's double check. You don't have to seal the bottom. It's just on the side. And we're going to double check that that slides. Now you can see I'm struggling a little bit to grab this, but don't worry, we're going to put a little pull there. So we're going to fix that. Now let's bring in Mr. Bear, Vampire, Dracula, whatever. And we're going to layer him up with some circles. So we went with, I'm thinking, let's go, we're going to bring in some bigger circles. Here, let's go with, what do I got here? I got a 2-inch punch, and let's do orange for the middle layer with the 2-inch punch. That's pumpkin pie. And then we'll do the bigger one, the 2 3/8 inch punch out of basic black. Let's see what that looks like, you guys. So we'll have the bear and the black circle, get a little edge there, and that would go on right there. That's pretty cute. I think I like having that black, that contrast at the bottom. If the orange was at the bottom, it would kind of blend in a little bit. I like that little pop of color. Okay, so we've got that. You guys are saying yes on the project sheet. So, okay, so we've got our little bear. I'm going to have to stick him together, but we also want to do a greeting on here. So let's grab a scrap of basic white, and I'm going to punch this out with, let's punch it out with the smaller one. Let's try the 1 3/4 inch punch. That was the same one we punched the bear out with. And we're going to put a sentiment on here. We might want to layer that too. Let's punch a 2-inch black circle. Not sure if we want to layer it or not, but I'm going to be prepared. So I might want to layer that too. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little stamping on our circle here. So again, I'm using that Spooky Halloween stamp set. I did the Happy Halloween on the inside of the card. So for the outside, I'm going to go spooky and add some bats, because it's not very spooky. He's just adorable. But we're going to make him spooky by adding, where's my spooky? Spooky, here it is. Okay, and we're going to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Oh yeah, Gorgeous Grape would also be a good, like purple and orange. That's very, purple's also part of Halloween, right? Didn't even think about that one. This paper also has Petunia Pop in it, which is kind of a pinkish purplish color. More on the pink side. And then we got our spooky on there, and I left room to add some bats flying around. So let's ink up our bats here. And Patty says, have you ever said no to a project sheet? No. And I'm sure people would like me to do more than I do, but oh my gosh, yeah. if you've ever purchased my tutorials or gotten my free project sheets, you know I put a lot of time and effort into them to make sure that they're easy to see. This one bat is not inking up very well for me, so I'm gonna do a test run here. Oh, he's fine. All right, let's go back here. Now, when photopolymer stamps are brand new, they need a little bit of priming because they have, a lot of times they'll have like an oil from the machine on them. So if you ink them a few times and stamp them on a scrap paper, that really helps. All right, we've got our bats here. Okay, so I should have probably used a cushion behind there. I didn't get a completely filled in image on the first bat. So I'm going to take a marker. Now, Stampin' Up! This is a Stampin' Right Basic Black Marker. Stampin' Up! Has told us that these are retiring. They're now on the last chance list. I honestly don't know if this has sold out already or not. I do really like having a nice black marker. We do have a journaling one as well. I'll have to be investing in that because it's when this one no longer works, because it's just sometimes nice if you didn't quite get your words to fill in, you can just add them in there. So some people, why is candy corn divisive? Some people really hate candy corn. I like it, but some people think it's just nasty, I guess. So, all right, let's start sticking some things together here. So we're going to take our little bear. Now we could have added candy corn up here on the spooky. That would have been cute. And these aren't stuck together yet. Let's unstack you guys. All right, so our bear was cut out of the DSP with a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And we're going to stick it on a 2-inch punched out piece of pumpkin pie. And then on the back of that, we're going to put some adhesive and stick it on a 2 3/8 inch circle punch. All right, there we go. So we got our cute little, what are we calling him? Bear Dracula. And then we'll put our little spooky right here on this black circle. Oh, I should have tested it to make sure we wanted the black. I wasn't sure about that. All right, well, I'm committed now, aren't I? So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and take the sticky off of this dimensional. And we're gonna pop our, now I don't want him hanging off the edge. I just wanna, and I only wanna stick him to that one piece because I want him to slide, okay? So let's give him a test there. All right, that's good. Happy Halloween. Now I'm gonna add my spooky in here. I don't want my spooky to cover up my Happy Halloween. So I just kind of extending this out to do my placement, make sure I got it properly placed. I think that's pretty good right there. I'm going to put a couple little dimensionals, little minis here. I'm just going to use, oh, those are the big ones. I was going to use the small black dimensionals. Oh, Susan. Oh, found them. Here they are. They're under 6 layers of things already. Take a sip, everyone. And we're going to go ahead and just put that on the edge here. You can use black, you can use white. I don't think it's really going to show. But Halloween cards are a great place to use your dark dimensionals, that's for sure. Okay, we got those 2 on there. And we're going to stick our spooky on and just make sure that it's not going to, I can go up a little higher, can I? Just want to make sure it doesn't interfere with the Halloween when it's open. Okay, so spooky. Now let's slide it back down. There we go. So got this like that. Cute, right? Now we're going to add a pull here. And for that, we're bringing in the die cutting machine, friends. So I am going to grab the die cutting machine and then the dies that go with this Spooky Halloween bundle. And one of them is this one right here, where it's actually a tab that makes a little bat when you fold it. Now we've also got some bats here that we could stick on our card, stick on the inside even. Lots of options, but for now, you know, the haunted house on the front of this card, the haunted house being the piece that slides, would also be really fun. Lots of options. We're gonna do this little pull here. I'm going to set this aside and let's crank this through. There we go. Hi, Virginia. All right. show you how cool this is. All right, so I cut my piece. This plate is starting to need to get to the point where it needs to be replaced because things are sticking to it. So I don't know, can you even see the bat in there? Maybe you can, I'm not sure. All right, let's put this aside. And this die has a score line in the center. So I can now fold my cardstock on that score line like that and form a tab. This is great for a treat bag topper. You can just adhere it to a little stapled over bag. In fact, there's some really cute iridescent bags that come as part of this. They're available along with this rest of the things in this suite. But we're going to be adhering this to the top of our card. And I'm going to have it sticking up a little bit, just like that. And that was why I stamped the Halloween down there. Now, if I had forgotten to stamp the Halloween, I could have extended my card all the way. Maybe before I stuck these on, I could have still stamped it. It's just a little, it's a little easier to stamp it when it's flat and separate. So I'm going to put a bit of adhesive on the one side of this and some more adhesive on the other because I really want it to stick. All right, so I've got adhesive on both sides and I'm just folding it on that score line and sticking it right on here. How's that look? Okay, we'll just stick it in place and then poke it right down here. And now you can slide. Happy Halloween! Spooky! So cute, right? Now, if we wanted to, where is it? Okay, here they are. This suite of products also comes with these little foam stickers. They're stars. They come in white, petunia pop, and basic black. I think mine would probably be basic black, so I'm not sure if we're going to want to use these or not, but let's just try them. Let's put a star right there. That's kind of cute. And maybe a smaller one by the bats. They're flying at night, so there's black stars in the sky, maybe. Maybe? Not really sure. No, I like it down there. I might even move this one down here. I don't know. Lots of options there on where you want to stick your little stars. And those are optional. You don't have to do the stars. But there we have our sweet little Halloween card. Will it fit in the envelope with the tab on there? That's a good question. I maybe should have thought of that. I should have maybe put the tab down a little bit farther. I could have also trimmed the tab so that I needed my, I want to make sure my words showed. So that's why I stuck it up there. And that's a fair point. Let's test it, guys. Let's test it. Might have to adjust my card. Yeah, it's going to be, if I had slid it down all the way flush, it would have fit. And to be able to do that with what I was doing, I would have needed to probably trimmed it off a bit, right? So this would be a great one to hand give to that grandchild, right? If you needed to mail it, you might need a special envelope, or you might need to adjust the card a little bit so that that is flush with the top and just the bat is sticking up. Even with just the bat sticking up, I think it would have been tight. Yeah, I think you would need a little bit bigger envelope for this. So good question. Good question. And then there's just enough room to sign on the inside there. Now this width-wise, this card is a little bit narrower than a standard card. The finished width is 4 inches. So just FYI on that, if you were wondering. So put in one of the holographic bags for in-person. I don't know if those are quite big enough, Sharon. The holographic bags are a little bit smaller. They're more of a candy size bag. Let me grab them here. Maybe I can grab them. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, they're not full card sized, are they? Oh boy, it's close. almost would go actually. And let me bring in those dimensions. Oh, I have another one I can show you actually. Boy, it's exactly the same width as the card, so it wouldn't be quite big enough for the card to go in. So we voted at the beginning whether we wanted orange or black, and you guys voted for black, or for orange, and so that's what we did in this video. But I did actually do one beforehand with the black. I was just practicing it to make sure I remembered how to make this style of card. And I can see that it definitely needs some spooky little bits on here though. So we're gonna add those in because we can, right? All right, got one and then a little medium-sized one here. So which do you like better? Do you like the orange or the black better? They're both super cute. And you can see I switched up the circles just based on what color. So if you're making several, you can make them slightly different. Like let's say it's for siblings, you can make them slightly different. Or of course, now this one I did not layer the black on there, the black circle behind. And that one I stamped they're pretty similar. I stamped the Happy Halloween a little bit higher up, I think, just a skosh. So there we have our two cards. Black is spookier, yeah, spooky. And you also could do that little Peppa Pig. I don't know, is that what they call that? The little pig that's dressed as a superhero would be cute with this exact same card layout. The little ghost bat would be cute. You could do a portion of the flamingo. I don't think all of it would fit, but you could do part of it. And then of course there are also in here, I'm just my brain is kind of going, what other ways could we decorate this card? You could also pull these out here. These are the little ephemera punch out pieces. You could do the little fairy princess bear and with the Petunia Pop background. So like if you wanted a little bit more of a girly version, that would be adorable with the same slider thing. You want to spook it up more, you could do the cauldron and make it extra spooky. So lots of options there. So I hope that inspired your creativity a little bit here with the slider pocket card. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this up so maybe you can see the action part. So one close, one up. How about that? And there are the dimensions if you want to take a screenshot. Oh wait, I must tidy. One moment, please. Let me tidy my space, at least the part that you can see. And you can go ahead and take it. Yeah, the cauldron would be cute, wouldn't it? It would be very cute. And you can have bats flying around the cauldron or be cooking up some candy corn in there, all sorts of options. Now with this card, you do want to be careful that you don't put a lot of embellishments or things up here because those pieces need to be able to slide freely. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So, oh yeah, you absolutely could use it with other papers, like we did with the toadstool one. Again, you can find this video on my channel back from, I want to say January or February, one of those. So there we go. And thank you to team member Sandy Rousey, who is here tonight watching us. Thank you, Sandy, for the inspiration. This was Sandy's card that she sent me for Christmas last year. So super fun. And let's go ahead and flip the camera. Everyone got their screenshot, right? All right. I want to remind you that Crafternoon is coming up this weekend. I am deep in the weeds creating all of the alternates for Crafternoon and having a blast. There'll be a lot of sneak peeks of the new mini catalog things coming this Saturday for our new Crafternoon fold. That will be at 3 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. I hope you can tune in and join me. I know it is Labor Day weekend. That was just the date that worked out best for me. So you can always catch it on the replay if you can't catch me live. And then I'll also be live Saturday night at 7:30 Central Time. Some of you got a packet in the mail, or your packet is on its way to you to make the Crafternoon card along with me in that video. And if you would like to create with me in next month's Crafternoon, just place a $50 order before tax and shipping and after rewards in my online store, and you'll be all set for the September Crafternoon. Take care, everyone, and thank you for making and sending handmade cards. You're absolutely making the world a kinder place with every card that you send, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. Take care, you're amazing, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.